a go-to place in your seat, like the cross-legged one. Maybe you switch the legs, or you do maybe something a little different, see how that feels. And then your hands could rest in your lap. Maybe you give your legs a little stroke. And just feel that contact of hands with legs. Maybe your shoulders are roll, and maybe you close your eyes. And then find some stillness here. Within that apparent stillness, you'll notice that there is still something happening, quite a lot happening actually. Let's see if you can tune into your breath and the movement of your breath. Allow your attention to rest there as you breathe in and breathe out. And trying not to rush anything, not favoring or the inhales or the exhales, allowing them to be whatever they are right now. And maybe as you continue breathing, you make some little tweaks to your posture, making yourself maybe a little taller, maybe finding a bit more ease through your face. And if you haven't already, begin to breathe a bit more through your nose. And find that layer of agency over your breath. And taking about 5 more breaths, expanding the chest and the rib cage on the inhales. And then feeling the chest lower, the ribs draw towards one another on the exhale. Noticing if your attention is still on your breath or somewhere else. If that's the case, bring it back to your breath, 5 more cycles. And then staying with your breath, we'll add a bit more movement, first through the neck and the head. So with eyes open or closed, take a breath in. And then let the left ear drop towards the left shoulder as you find space in the right side of your neck. Maybe your right shoulder gets a little bit heavier. Maybe you push that right shoulder blade back a little bit more. And then bring the chin all the way to your chest. Find now space in the back of your neck. Keep your shoulder blades drawing back and down. And as you're ready, take the right ear now towards the right shoulders. Now you find space in the left side of the neck and some little tweaks here. Left shoulder heavy, maybe drawing slightly back. And then bring the chin back towards the chest. Pause. Big stretch through the back of the neck. And then lift the chin all the way towards the ceiling. And just go as far as feels comfortable. And a stretch through the front of your neck, your throat. And then when you're ready, gently bring the head back through center, chin more or less parallel to the ground. We'll take those arms out into a T, turn the palms towards the ceiling, and then turn the palms down and back. And find that rotation all the way into the shoulders a few times. Make it as big or as small as you'd like. You might even bring the spine into this movement. A bit of a cow-cat spine if you'd like. And then we'll meet with neutral spine, the palms facing up towards the ceiling, and then drop the fingers towards the floor so your palms are turning away from you. And then we're taking the fingers towards the ceiling, the palms are going to face towards us. So see if this movement can come from your wrist. Again, palms out, fingers down. And then palms in, fingers up. Nice. One more time, palms out. And palms in. And then from here, make a fist and gentle rotations through your wrists with your arms out in line with shoulders, or you could bring them down if that feels nicer. And then rotate in the other direction. And then open up those hands, sweep your arms overhead, and on your exhale, a side bend to the right. Inhale, come back through center, and then take a side bend left. Inhale, back through center, and a twist to the right. And inhale through center, and a twist to the left. On your inhale, come back through center, interlace your fingers overhead, and palms towards the ceiling. Give yourself a stretch for a breath in. And then on your exhale, bend your elbows and bring the hands to the back of the head. Take your elbows back. The head might rest into your hands as you lift your gaze. And then on your exhale, elbow to elbow in front of you, round your spine any amount. Inhale again, we open up, maybe looking up. Exhale, left elbow towards right thigh. Inhale, back through center. And exhale, right elbow, left thigh. Inhale, back through center. Again, elbow to elbow in front of us, round forward and down. Inhale through center. Exhale, left elbow, right thigh. Inhale, center. And last one, right elbow, left thigh. On your inhale, come back through center, extend your arms overhead, and as you exhale, release your arms down. Bring your feet out in front of you, and we're coming onto our side. So let's start on the left side. And you're going to start with your knees bent, your legs stacked, and you're going to keep the big toe side of the feet together. Now imagine that you had a wall behind you, and try to get your back body from your sacrum through that, those shoulder blades, through the back of the head, all the way onto that imaginary wall. And see if you can keep that position through your torso as you lift that right knee up towards the ceiling. The feet stay together and lower it. And then again, knee up towards the ceiling and lower. And a few times like that, feeling that work through outer hip. Maybe there's some stretch through inner thigh. And again, notice that there'll be that point in which you want to kind of roll back and try to avoid that. That might mean that the knee doesn't lift as high. That's fine. And I chose to bring my left hand under my head and support it like that. But if you prefer to extend your left arm, lower the head all the way, you could do that. We'll do one more, lifting the knee up and then lower it down. And now extend your right leg all the way out and flex your foot. So draw the toes towards your shin. Again, keep that back body on that imaginary wall. And now as if something was lifting your leg from your ankle, lift that right leg up towards the ceiling, keeping your toes pointing forward or even down some, and then lower to hover. And then again, lift and lower. So notice there's no external rotation happening through that right leg. We're keeping it neutral or more internally rotated if the tendency for you is to externally rotate. And see if you can feel the work through that outer right hip. Nice job. And really slow things down. So you're really intentional about the lifting and about the lowering too. So you're controlling the lowering, you're just not letting the leg just flop down. And here, quality over quantity. So it's not about how many, but about how intentional the movement is, paying attention to the journey up and the journey down. Let's take one more. And then lower. And then from here, see if you can bring that right knee into your chest. You can use your right hand just to give it a squeeze in. And then we'll return. Stack the legs, the knees are bent. And again, we're going to open up the right knee towards the ceiling. And lower. And again, open. And lower. Bring your attention, your brain into that outer right hip and feel the work there. The sensations happening. And then keep that stability through your torso. So core work here too to keep you stable. And then we'll bring that right knee back down and then we'll extend that right leg, but this time pointing the toes away from you. And then we're going to make circles and start with small circles in whatever direction feels best, because then we'll switch. And imagine that you were drawing a circle on the wall with that right, maybe even right big toe. And then see if you can be really precise. And you might start making those circles a bit bigger. But imagine that you were trying to draw over the same line the whole time. So you've got to really control the movement and be precise. The torso is staying in the same position. You're trying to avoid rocking forward and back. And then see if you can draw over the same circle in the opposite direction. And again, slower, better than faster. Quality over quantity. Nice work. You might be already feeling, some fatigue, some tiredness. Notice that. And then do one more. And then bring that right knee into your chest and give it a squeeze. Nice job. And then we're going to come onto our backs. And then bring both knees into your chest. And just take a moment, maybe noticing any differences between sides. You could rock up and down a bit. You could make some circles with your knees. And then as you're ready, we're going to go all the way onto the other side. So we're lying now on the right side, and position yourself however you want. But the knees are going to be bent, the legs stacked, and then again have that imaginary wall behind you and try to get that the back of your hips, your shoulder blades, the back of your head onto that wall. And then once you've got that, big toe side of the feet stays together, and then that left knee reaches up any amount. Notice differences between sides. This one tends to give me more sensation. Just using the movement to explore. An opportunity to explore your physical body, that left leg, left hip, your core, your torso, but also an opportunity to explore, the dialogue in the mind, the thoughts, your attention, your breath. And maybe slowing it down a few more. And then lowering that left knee and then extending that left leg all the way out. The toes are drawing towards the shin. You're pushing away through the sole of the foot, maybe a little internal rotation, and then leg lifts and lowers. And at your own pace here. As if there was a string around your ankle and the leg is being lifted from there. And again, notice the tendency in the torso maybe to shift back and forth, and see if you can engage a bit through that torso to stay stable. That right leg is also anchoring. And then one more. And when that left leg lowers, bend the knee and draw that knee into your chest and give it a squeeze. And then again, bring the big toe side of the feet together, stack the legs. And when you're ready, knee towards the ceiling. And maybe there's a little bit more movement available. And just see. And down at your own pace. And feel free to, you could use your left hand to support you here. You could also use your left hand just to bring it to that left glute, outer hip, and just feel what's happening there. Just notice the work, the movement. Now we'll do one more like that. And then from here, extend that left leg all the way out. And this time, point the toes away from you. We're going to draw those circles, so pointing. And then begin to circle. And again, slow, precise. Maybe you get those circles a little bigger. But there will be a moment in which you make the circles so big that the torso begins to wobble, so just notice that and see if you can return to stability, grounding as that left leg works. And then switching directions, same precision, also constant speed, intentional movement throughout. So if at any point you were told to stop, you would be able to stop right there. And maybe you're noticing some fatigue through that left leg. And give it a couple more. And then lower that leg, bring the knee into your chest and give it a squeeze. And then we'll roll onto our backs once again. Both knees into your chest. And then take those knees towards your armpits and find a happy baby. You could do it with your heels, the heels of your feet heavy towards the glutes, or lifting the feet towards the ceiling, any version here. But see if you can use your happy baby to stretch a bit more through your glutes, the back of your hips. You could also rock a little bit side to side in your happy baby. Breathing in and breathing out. And then from here, bring the knees in towards the chest, your hands behind your knees, and we're going to rock up and down a few times. So if it's comfortable, come onto your sit bones, and then return onto your back, maybe the legs going overhead, and then again onto your sit bones, find that moment of balance, and then back. And then another one like that, up and back. And then when you're ready, get a bit of momentum. We're going to try and make our way all the way to a standing position. So you'll plant your feet, and maybe using hands or not, you come all the way up. We'll meet in mountain pose, arms by your side, and just take a moment to get acquainted with standing. Maybe your shoulders take a roll, your fingers a wiggle. Maybe you shift your weight forward and back on the soles of your feet. And then find that grounding, and with your next inhale, sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, side bend right. Inhale back through center, to the left. Inhale, center, interlace fingers overhead, palms towards the ceiling, push away, breath in. As you exhale, arms go wide and fold. A bend in the knees, always welcome. Inhale for a halfway lift, lengthen the spine forward, and exhale, fold. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, halfway lift, nice stretch, backs of the legs. Exhale, fold, and another one, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. With your next inhale, bend your knees, chair pose. And as you exhale, bring hands to heart. Inhale, lift your right heel. And exhale, lower. Lift the left and lower. Maybe that again, or both heels. Steady breath and gaze. Another inhale. And as you exhale, both heels lower, straighten legs and arms. Exhale, left arm down, side bend. Inhale, center. Other side, exhale. Inhale, center. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, fold. And another half lift. This time on your exhale, plant your hands and step your feet all the way back, downward facing dog. In your down dog, find a deep bend through your right knee as you keep your left leg straight. Push away with your hands. Left heel heavy. And then switch. Left knee deeply bends, your right heel's heavy towards the ground, right sit bone towards the ceiling. Push away with your hands. And then do that 1 more time each side. Right knee bends. And then left knee bends. Maybe even the toes leave the ground just a bit. And then return, both feet on the ground. On your inhale, come out into a plank pose. And as you exhale, come back into downward facing dog. And 2 more. Inhale, plank. Exhale to down dog. And 1 more. With your next inhale, lift your heels. And on your exhale, lower your knees to the mat table. Hands under shoulders. Take an inhale into cow. And again, use your cow to really lift that tailbone. Find that stretch through the glutes, the tops of your hamstrings. And on your exhale, tuck that tailbone round your spine. And again, inhale, tailbone up. Exhale, and tailbone in or under. 1 more time, inhale. And exhale to round. As you inhale, find your neutral spine. Extend your left leg out behind you. And on your exhale, draw that knee into your chest. Lengthen, breath in. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Lengthen, inhale. Left knee, right elbow. Inhale, lengthen, pivot on your right knee and open, supported side plank to the left. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, plant your left foot and come all the way up. Left hand, left leg for a side bend. Inhale back through center. Right hand plants, come back into your plank pose. And then lift and lower that left leg 3 times. You could do it with your left arm up or left hand resting on your hip. But same thing as we did before when we were lying down, you lower, you lift. A little internal rotation, if you'd like, through that left leg. Feeling again the work through that outer hip glute. And then one more breath in. And on your exhale, we'll meet back in table pose. Take an inhale, cow. And an exhale, cat. Let's do all of that on the other side. Right leg extends, breath in. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, lengthen. Right knee, right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Pivot on your left knee. Find your supported side plank to the right. Take a full breath in here. And then plant your right foot, come all the way up and find a side bend towards the right leg. Inhale back through center. And exhale, left hand plants you back into your side plank. Right hand stays lifted or maybe at your hip, little internal rotation, and then lower that right foot, tap and lift. And again, tap and lift. As you do this, just like we said before, imagine that wall behind you. Try to get your head, shoulder blades onto it. One more time. And then when you're ready, back to table pose. Hands down, knees down. Take an inhale, cow. On your exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. And then walk your hands towards your feet. Come towards the back of the mat. Forward fold. Take a moment here. Find the stretch through the backs of the legs, the glutes. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then as you inhale, bend in the knees, rise all the way up. Sweep your arms overhead and catch a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. As you find the side bend, taking it over towards the right, maybe take that left foot behind the right onto the pinky edge of the foot as you find that extra stretch through the left side body. A little balance, see that transition I always find. So attention again now as you come back, left foot next to the right, and then switch hands, left hand around right wrist, take it over towards the left. And then from here, right leg, maybe behind the left, onto the pinky edge, big stretch right side body. When you're ready, return through center, and then on your exhale, fold forward. Walk your hands to the top of the mat, start in a plank pose, and then on your exhale, take it into downward facing dog. Full breath in and full breath out. With your next inhale, walk your feet to your hands and exhale, fold. Rise into chair pose, inhale. And bring hands to your heart, exhale. Left heel rises, lower. Right, lower. That same thing again, or both heels staying on the balls of the feet for a breath in. Out. Another inhale. And then both heels slowly plant. Straighten legs, reach your arms tall. Side bend right. Back through center, inhale. And to your left. Back through center, inhale. Forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Full breath in. Full breath out. On your inhale, lift your heels. And as you exhale, lower the knees to the mat. Back into table pose. With your next inhale, left leg extends. On your exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. We're returning to the side plank facing the left. The left arm can reach up. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, left foot plants, rise all the way up and find that side bend to the left. Now as you inhale, come back through center. And on your exhale, we're going forward. So we're flexing through the hips, forward and down. So you're coming into a table pose with your left leg out to the side. Now we're going to lift the pinky edge of the foot. And then from this table pose, we're going to lift that left leg and lower. And again, lift and lower. If you find that with the leg extended, it's kind of quite intense and the whole body kind of shifts a lot, you could do knee bend. And you could do knee lowering, kind of meeting the right, and opening again to the left. So you choose leg extended or knee bend. Okay? And then again, lifting and lowering. And then one more with breath. So chances are you were holding your breath. I was. And then the next time that you've got it on the ground, walk your hands in, come all the way up, reach tall. And as you exhale, right hand to the right, and you're coming back into your side plank. Take another breath in. And exhale, table. Knees down, hands down. Inhale into cow. And exhale, find cat. All right, let's try and find those same movements on the other side. So when you're ready, with your breath, right leg extends. Exhale, bring it in, chest. Lengthen, inhale. Right knee, right elbow. Lengthen, inhale. Left elbow. Lengthen, find your side plank, now facing the right. Right arm reaches tall. Take a full breath in here, expansive side plank. And then on your exhale, plant that right foot, rise up with your torso, and find that side bend to the right. As you inhale, bring the torso back through center. And now on your exhale, we're hinging forward and down, planting both hands. Nice job. All right. Again, adjust your position here, but try to keep as best you can a neutral spine. And I find, well, the trick here is to flex through, or one of the tricks, to flex that right foot, lift the pinky edge of the foot, and then from here, lift and lower. And maybe it's quite striking that one side is a little bit trickier than the other. For me, I think this one seems a bit more. But again, and as your leg lifts and lowers, again, try to keep that same speed. Slower, better than faster. And like if you were told to stop at some point, you could stop right there in that position. There wouldn't be momentum. There wouldn't be gravity taking over. And that is breath. And try it one more time, breathing in. And then out, planting that right foot. And then walking your hands in as you rise up once again, arms overhead. And then on your exhale, left arm down, find your side plank. Take a full inhale. And on your exhale, both hands down, knees down, table pose. Take an inhale, cow. And on your exhale, tuck your toes and find this shorter downward facing dog. And so see if you can plant your heels, and if not, walk your hands a little closer to your feet. Bend your knees. And as you plant your heels, think about lifting that tailbone, those sit bones, and maybe even lift your toes. And take a full breath in. And full breath out. And another one. And then walk your hands towards your feet, coming to the back of the mat. Forward fold. Interlace your fingers and bring the hands to the back of your head. Let your elbows and arms be heavy. Maybe your feet a bit wider. Allow your torso to rest some onto your thighs. Breathing in and breathing out. One more here. And then with your next inhale, all the way up, sweeping those arms overhead. And on your exhale, grab a hold of your left wrist, take it over to the right. And again, you could do the same thing as before, left leg behind the right, a bend into your right knee. Find that big stretch for the left side body. And then bring yourself back through center, switch. Left hand, right wrist, you're taking it over to the left. And then maybe your right leg sweeps behind, all the way over to the left side. Stretch for the right. And then coming back through center. And then folding forward. Walk your hands to the top of the mat, find your plank pose. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, we're lowering all the way down onto the belly. So however you'd like to do it, but see if you can do it with control, intention. And then here you could make a pillow for your forehead. We're going to go into a half frog. So we're going to get into those inner thighs a little bit more. So we'll start on the left side. You could stay low with your head and then just bend into your left knee. Slide it out to the left and then up. Also here, I like to keep my toes drawing towards my shin. And then see about pressing the inside of that left knee down into the ground and kind of the inner thigh too. And your left hip bone also facing down. So depending how this is feeling, you might stay here, or you might choose to come higher with your torso. You might bring your elbows more or less under your shoulders, coming onto your forearms, lifting the chest away from the floor if you'd like. Make your right leg a little bit more active, a squeeze through the right glute. Take a full breath in. And out. Now just to play here, okay? Since we're in this position, bring your awareness to the inside of that left knee and see if you can push down, encourage some internal rotation through your thigh and see if that left foot can leave the ground. So your left shin and foot lift. And if anything happened there, return. All right, and then we're going to take this into a twist. So if your torso was down, you might want to lift up a bit, and then you're going to slide or thread your right arm under your left. Palm is facing up. Bring the outer right shoulder down, and then open the chest towards the ceiling. So your left arm is going to go towards the left side. Your left leg stays what it was, or more or less. It's kind of going to return a little bit, but you still got it crossed across the body. Take a few breaths here. This is kind of like a twist, but instead of taking the leg over first, what we do is we turn the torso. But we're going, it's a reclined twist. And then you're going to unwind that twist and come again onto the belly, extending your left leg out behind you. And we'll take that to the other side. So again, maybe resting your forehead on your forearms. We're bending into the right knee this time, and we're sliding it out to the right and up. And sometimes we think here of 90-degree angles through ankle, through knee, through hip. But it doesn't have to be exactly that, just kind of going in that direction. Use it as a guide. And then find that right inner thigh, inner knee, push down into the ground. Think about your right hip dropping towards the floor. And maybe staying down with your head and your chest, or coming up if that feels right. There might be a bit more leeway on one side than the other. And then if you'd like to play with that internal rotation in this shape, kind of think about like pushing down through the inside of that left knee. Allow that left thigh to rotate in, so towards the floor, and you might find then that right foot lifts off the ground. Again, just see. And maybe visually nothing is happening, but in the feeling, if you feel that internal rotation work, that it is that awareness, that can be plenty and enough here. And return that foot down if it lifted any amount. Release that internal rotation. And then when you're ready, we'll take the twist on this side. So this time we're threading the left arm under the right. You're bringing the outer left shoulder to the mat, the head too. And then you're opening the chest towards the ceiling. Your right leg is going to stay towards the left. Your right arm might go towards the right. Your shoulder, right shoulder blade, mine doesn't come to the ground. That's fine. So don't feel like it needs to get there. Then breathe into the front body, the chest, rib cage. And then we'll unwind this twist. So it's up to you. You could kind of roll all the way now onto your back and bring that right leg over, and then you'll be on your back, bringing the knees into your chest, or if you'd like to get there in a different way, you could. But then once your knees are in towards your chest, your hands could be behind your thighs or around your shins. Lift and lower your sacrum a few times. So think about your knees coming closer to the chest and then slightly moving away from it. And then plant both feet. Heel to toe your feet out towards the edges of your mat with your knees bent, and then let your knees rest in towards one another. And make some adjustments through your back body. Feel the sacrum planted, and then allow the lower back to be neutral. Maybe shoulder blades move a bit, making a bit more space between them. And you might slide the back of the head further back to lengthen through the back of your neck. Rest your hands on belly and lower rib cage. And then allow the breath to happen and the movement of the breath under your hands to be a reminder the breath and movement is already happening. But now begin to let go of the breath or controlling the breath. And so it's almost like you're letting that layer of agency go. And the tricky part is to stay aware of the breath without acting on it. So you could try that. See if you can breathe and be aware of your breath without necessarily working it. And this is your leeway into Shavasana. So if this position is comfortable, is the one you'd like, stay. If you prefer to lengthen your legs out, your arms, if you prefer a seat, find that. And then just like you allowed your breath to be whatever it is, allow yourself to be whatever you are at this moment. Try to let go of the doing, the control. Easier said than done, but we still practice. And for these last few minutes, just be. Shavasana. As always, if Valanga Shavasana is a possibility and you'd like to take it, feel free to. If you're ready to move, bring your awareness back to your breathing and add that layer of gentle agency over it, breathing a little deeper, a bit longer. And then to the movement of your breath, adding a bit more movement throughout the body. Maybe a wiggle through your fingers and your toes starts things off. And continue as you'd like. We'll eventually meet in a seat. And you could rest your hands in your lap or bring them to your chest. As you arrive here, give yourself a breath in and a breath out. We take this moment to acknowledge and appreciate the practice itself, to then acknowledge and appreciate ourselves and our own practice, to acknowledge and appreciate and remember all those who have practiced with us, to acknowledge, appreciate all those who have made it possible. And we end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.